All right, so our plan for today has changed, obviously. Last class, we covered these problems here, which was adding and subtracting, and your homework was to do these problems up until number 14. And then tonight your homework is going to be to finish 15 all the way through 20. So if you did your homework last night, you'll only have 6 problems tonight. And then today you're going to resubmit this page again, or actually you're going to submit it in the assignment for today, and that'll be due by Wednesday evening. So let's get back to explaining those. So let's see. So we did addition and subtraction before, but and remember that when you add and subtract, kind of like this problem here, you need similar radicals, right? They have to be exactly the same. They have to be the same type of radical, like these are all square roots, and they all have to have the same item inside and basically the same type of thing outside. So you see these all had 10s inside, they were all square roots, and so that's why we were able to do 3 minus 8 was -5, -5 plus 1 right here was -4, and then square root of 10. And so everything has to match pretty perfectly for you to be able to add and subtract. You notice on this problem here, we were able to subtract right away, so we had -5 cube root of 32, but then we went and reduced 32 and we changed it, and then this one became, let's see, it became -10 cube root of 4 for our final answer after we reduced it. Okay, so let's get to that, but this time our problems are going to have variables in them. So on letter A, I can subtract this right now the way it stands. They both are cube roots, they both have 32p to the 8th inside, so I can go ahead and just do 2 minus 7, so that's -5, and then I still have cube root of 32p8. All right, but you notice 32p8 needs some reducing. So let me take 32 over here. 32 is 4 times 8. 4 is 2 times 2. 8 is 4 times 2, and then finally 2 and 2 again. So when I look at this and I'm looking for triple items to take out, I take these 3 2's. So when I take those, that leaves me the other 2's left, which is 4. So I'm taking a 2 out. 2 times 5 here is 10, so I have a -10 on the outside. I'm going to leave some space, put my cube root back, and then I have these 2 2's left over. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, so I have to put a 4 back. All right, so now I do my exponents. 3 goes into 8 2 times, so I'm going to have P2. And when I divide 3 into 8, it goes twice, it makes 6, so there's 2 left. So it's also P2, actually. All right, and there's my final answer. So you notice I subtracted because they were the same right away. All right, so let's look at letter B. On letter B, these are not the same, but I do have hope that they are going to be the same because they're both square roots. So we got to work on them. Let's take 108. All right, 108, let's see, it's 54 times 2. 54 is 9 times 6. It's 3 times 3, and then this is 3 times 2. All right, so I'm looking for pairs. So it looks like I got a couple pairs there. I got 2 3's, and I also have 2 2's. So I'm going to bring a 6 out. So when I bring a 6 out, there's already a 3 waiting, so 6 times 3 is 18. I don't need to leave any space because no x's can come out. 2 does not go into 1 at all. So I'm going to put this back, and let's see, I have a 3 left over, so a 3x left over. All right, minus, now let's do 75. 75 is 25 times 3, and that was a good clue over here, this 3. I know I want a 3 left, and so I'm going to have a 3 left because 25 is 5 times 5. So I'm going to bring a 5 out. There's already a 4 waiting, so that's would be 5 times 4 is 20. And then left inside is this 3 right here, because remember that I took out these 5's right there. All right, and so 3x is inside. Now when I look at this, I'm like, oh, 18 radical 3x minus 20 radical 3x. So this would be -2 radical 3x. So that's the gist of everything that we're doing here in these last problems. It's just that, maybe something's a little bit harder or whatever, but a little bit more annoying. Okay, so let's look at letter C. This is a cube root. Now luckily on letter C, cube root of 6x, that's done. So let me just work on this 48. 48, let's see, 8 times 6. And if you start to notice, 8 is a perfect cube. So that means you can bring it out and put a 2 on the outside. 2 times 3 is 6, and so we'll get 6 on the outside. I'll keep breaking it down, but if you start to notice these things, then, you can just kind of skip some steps. This is 2 times 2, and this is 3 times 2. All right, so I'm looking for triples, so I got triple 2's to come out. So I'm bringing out a 2 times 3, that's 6. I can't bring out any x's, so I'm just going to write my cube root back. And notice there's a 3 and a 2 left over, so that's also a 6 with an x. And then over here, I have cube root of 6x. So remember that this is considered to be a 1. So I have 6 minus 1, which is 5. So I have 5 of these cube roots of 6x. Okay, so, you've seen everything. Mostly it's just, like I said, it gets kind of tedious sometimes, but it has to be done. All right, 54. Let's break this down. I got 9 times 6. 9's a perfect square, so I could bring the 9 out right now and put 3 and leave the 6 inside, because look what's going to happen. These 3's are a pair, and I have 3 times 2. So when I go to look to take something out, I'm just going to take out these 3's, and then I have the 6 left inside. So I have 3 radical 6x. Okay, so for the next one, oh, lucky me, 3x doesn't reduce, so this is plus 7 radical 3x. So right away I notice, those aren't going to go together. So hopefully this last guy will produce something that I can use. So let's do 24 over here, because I don't know if there's enough space. So I got 6 times 4, 3 times 2, and this is 2 times 2. So I see that I can take a 2 out. Oh, I'll just use those two. Sorry, I was looking for cubes, but it says a square root. So I take a 2 out. There's already a 2 waiting, so that'll be 4. And then square root, there's a 3 and a 2 left over, so that's back to a 6x, and no x can come out. All right, so when I look at this, I say to myself, well, it looks to me like these match. These are matches. So I can put those together, but the other guy just has to stay there. So 7 radical 3x is going to stay. 3 minus 4 is negative 1 radical 6x, so you don't have to put the 1 right there. Because sometimes you just get 2 parts and there's nothing you can do. All right, let's look at this last problem here. These are all square roots. So 8, I got 4 times 2 and 2 times 2. So I'm going to be bringing out a 2. And there's already a 2 waiting. So 2 times 2 is 4. Leave some space because I do have some x's to bring out. Put my radical back and put this 2 back inside. So now, this is a square root. 2 goes into 5 twice. So I'm going to say x2, and then there is 1 left over. All right, so these are all kind of annoying because they're all different, and I'm just going to have to do each one and then see what I can put together. All right, let's do 18. 18 is 9 times 2. 9's a perfect square. 3 and 3, so I'm going to bring out a 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Leave a little space. Put my radical back with a 2 inside. All right. Okie doke. So now this is a square root. So again, 2 goes into 5 twice. So I'm going to have x2 with 1 left. Oh, those are going to go together eventually. All right, and then the last one, luckily, because I'm tired, right? You have the square root of 5x to the 5th. Now, the only thing you can do here before I go writing it is this. 2 goes into 5 twice, so x2 comes out, and then 1x stays in. All right, now, he looks pretty similar to everyone else, but actually I cannot do anything with this last part because, I'm just going to rewrite that plus sign because it's kind of in the way. All right, because notice the 5. This is a 5x and the other guys are 2x's. They all have x squareds, so that's good. They're all square roots and they all have x inside, but it's a 5, not a 2. So these are the only ones to go together. So 4 minus 9 is negative 5, and I put the x squared radical 2x back. And this guy, I just put plus x squared radical 5x. I just tack him on the end, and that's all he does is just sit around all the time. Okay, so there's my answer. All right, so remember, for homework tonight, you are going to go ahead and do the last part of this. You're going to do 15, 16, 17, 18, 17, 19, and 20. I guess I skipped 18. All right. And if you wanted to check your answers to the first part, here are the answers to the first piece. Now, I will not accept these answers if there's no work. So those of you who are thinking like, oh, I'll just copy these down, there better be some work shown or we're not going to accept those for credit. So go ahead and check your answers to those, and hopefully that'll help you if you had any trouble. All right, pause that and check it. And then you have to do these other 5 problems tonight, please. Okay, and you can always email us if you have a question that's just really stumping you. All right, have a good night. Bye-bye, and I'll see you on Thursday, hopefully.